guys, look at this mess. Like, there is no organization in this anymore whatsoever. Back when I originally put this in here, it was, and this, like, it was, these were blushes, and I don't even remember, like, bronzers were in the middle, and then highlights were over here, but then I started getting some palettes, and then I got, you know, kind of different types of blushes, like these stick blushes, and I'm like, wow. So, like, in the end, it's now a mess. I mean, you can see there used to be some organization. I think I'm going to start with the bronzers and highlighters and go from there. So I'm going to pull this out, or at least pull out the bronzers and highlighters first, just to kind of go through those and see what I'm going to keep. Hopefully I can whittle this down enough so I feel like I'm not just completely overwhelmed. Okay, so we are going to start with my highlighters. I think this is all that I own. I'm hoping. I kind of went through, I keep a lot in my everyday makeup drawer, so I tried to make sure. So I think I've got all my highlighters. Upon first glance, by the way, doesn't this look like Taylor Swift? Like, that legitimately looks like Taylor Swift. Okay, so let's just start on one end and work our way through. This is this Manna Sheer Glow highlight cream. Pink creams do not make sense with my skin tone. They look gorgeous on deeper skin tones, but on one that's as fair as mine, it just looks silly. Like, it looks pink, so it just doesn't work. So I'm gonna pass this on. I think I've literally only swatched it once because I saw that, like, oh, that's not gonna work. So this is going to leave. The Benefit High Beam I actually use a lot, and if you don't know what the Benefit High Beam product is, it looks like a nail polish, but it's this, like, beautiful cream highlight that it just looks so beautiful on your cheekbones. I don't really use it anywhere else, but it just looks so beautiful and shimmery but not glittery. It is so nice. It really does look nice. So, and this, I've had this for, I mean, not that long, but for a while, and it's still perfect. Like, it's in perfect condition. I just always make sure I shake it up before I use it. So love that. Definitely going to keep that. This, I tried to find like a month ago to mix with foundation because I'd heard, you know, it looks beautiful that way, and could not find it anywhere. Found out that it was hidden beneath my heaps of makeup in there. So I was ecstatic to find it because I do want to use it. I hate when jars get that, like, come on, oh well. But I actually want to swatch this. This is just this, whoa, clearly I hadn't used it. That was like hardened. But it's just this gorgeous, like, golden, I guess it's a highlight, but really the idea behind it, because on my skin tone I wouldn't be able to necessarily put that on. I mean, I guess I could as a highlight. It'd just have to be really, yeah, I could. But I've heard people put a tiny bit of this in their foundation, and apparently it's absolutely gorgeous, which I would bet it is. So I'm going to keep this for now and give it a try. So this is the Mary Luminizer from the Balm. I got this a long time ago when it was on sale on Haute Look for like 10 bucks. It's the most beautiful highlight, but the problem is it's kind of hard to wear with my skin tone because it is more of a yellowish one. So when I wear this, I just have to use such a light hand. So I think I'm going to keep it for now, but I do want to make sure that I am just careful with it. I mean, honestly. This, I'm going to go through both of these together. I'm definitely keeping these, not because they're MAC, because you know I'm trying to work on not keeping things just because they're name brand. I'm keeping these because they're amazing. This I just recently got in Lightscapade, and it's the prettiest non-glittery but still shimmery highlight. I can't really, it doesn't do it justice. Like, swatches don't quite look right, but it's just, it's like out of this world. I don't know how to describe this. It's so beautiful. So I'm definitely keeping that. This I'm keeping. This is MAC's MSF in Soft and Gentle. This is what I always wear for like a glamorous look, but I can still wear it during the day, which I think is awesome. So I'm definitely keeping that. That is a cult classic for a reason. This is my Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana, and this is like a finely milled highlight powder. It's marketed as a bronzer, but it is so beautiful. It makes your skin look so radiant without having any shimmer or glitter. It is so amazing. And if you haven't tried this, you've got to go out and try it because it's like $3.99. I've already hit pan, and I'm pretty sure the expiration date is coming up because this has SPF. So I'm going to keep it for now, but I need to, within the next month or two, just buy a new one and get rid of this because the expiration date, like I said, is coming up. This is a Starlooks loose highlight. It's the only loose highlight I have, and this is my go-to for when I want like an absolutely beautiful glittery look. And I know it looks really dark, but it blends really light on the skin. But it's got this beautiful finely milled glitter in it, and like I said, I do not use this during the day or for an everyday anything. I just use it for special occasions. So definitely keeping this. It's the only thing I have like it. This one, I'm so on the fence. This is a Tarte one. It's in Rose, and it's an Amazonian clay shimmering powder. But it's like too dark. Like, doesn't that almost look like a bronzer? And it blends to be a little bit lighter, but it's still way too dark for my skin tone. And every time I've ever used it, I just think to myself, nope, no way. And I don't know, maybe this is meant to be more of a blush now that I'm like thinking about it, but I still don't really like it on my skin. So even though it kills me because this was not cheap, I am just gonna say goodbye to it because someone else will love it so much more. And look how cute this packaging is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so moving on to bronzers here. I've moved them into the way. I'm actually pretty proud. I mean, I know I've got more bronzers than I need and more highlights than I need, but I didn't have as much of them as I had thought. So that is a little bit more encouraging. And the fact of the matter is, I really do, like the ones that I have for the most part, I actually really do use. So we're going to go through and see if there are any that I'm willing to part with just yet. Okay, the Hoola bronzer, this is really nice, you guys. And I know that everyone talks about it. I think it still works for fair skin, although it's not like a holy grail product by any means. I've got it and I use it, but if I ever ran out of it, I don't think I would ever re-buy it because it's nice, but I've discovered better ones. So like I said, I will use it up and it's really nice, and if you're a little tanner than I am, it's even better, but I don't think it's anything to write home about, honestly. But definitely going to keep it. I will use it up. This is the, let me get it out of the way there. This, I'm going to just sit on my desk here. Is that all right with you? This is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and it's like a deluxe sample, which I love when they do deluxe samples, because honestly this could be a full size. Like, it's enough in here that like this is a full size and it's the same size. So the reality is it's a really good deal, and I don't go through bronzer that quickly. I really like this. This is one that I reach for all the time. It's not as dark, and it's also honestly not really that pigmented. You can kind of see it's a lot lighter, and it does have kind of an orange tint to it, but it really is nice as an all-over bronzer in the summer for someone as fair as me. And I like that it's got a shimmer to it. I wouldn't necessarily contour with it. I mean, you could, but I know it wouldn't look right. But it really is nice. So if you're as fair as I am and you're just looking for a nice all-over bronzer that's not too crazy, I think you'd really like this because it is a little bit lighter. They now have the Park Avenue Princess in matte, which I have not tried but might be nice. But the shimmer in this is not really noticeable at all, so I don't mind it. So I'm going to keep that. Okay, moving forward. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in Medium that I talk about all the time that I adore. It's super duper expensive, like $40 expensive, but it's an amazing contour powder. I won't talk anymore about it because I talk about it all the time. It is amazing. It's one of the very few super expensive products I own that out of any, honestly, this is like one of my favorite products out of any makeup product ever. So this is something that when I run out, I probably will rebuy, but definitely keeping, obviously. Okay, this is this Ofra Americano bronzer. Now this, a lot of us got in our BoxyCharm a while ago. And it's not bad, but it's just dark. And I'd heard Andrea Mattiano speak about this, and she made me kind of like it more because I had gotten it as well, and she's as fair as I am, and she said she, you know, kind of lightly dusted it everywhere, and she said how she was surprised how good it looked, even though she was really fair. And so I tried it, and honestly, I was surprised too. It really was a good bronzer, but I'm just not reaching for it out of my bronzers. So again, I figure I might as well pass it on while it's still decently new so someone else can love on it. So I'm gonna pass that one on. This is the Pixie bronzer that a lot of people hated. It's the Subtly Sun Touched one, and it's really, really light for a bronzer, and that was most people's gripe, and they felt that it wasn't pigmented. Now, I love it because even though it's light, I think it's okay pigmented, but it's like a brown tone, like almost a gray taupe tone to it. So for someone as fair as me, it's an awesome bronzer. So I am definitely keeping it. The only downside is you can tell like it's getting kind of old. So I don't know. I think I'm going to keep it for now. I need to like wipe it off. I think I'm going to keep it for now. I might like scrape past the first layer and see if it's any better down there. If it's not, I'll probably pass it on. Or, well, honestly, if it's not, I'll obviously throw it away. But, yeah, I love this, and I think the packaging is cute for Pixi products, and I really liked that stuff. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer that everybody and their mom talks about. And this is, again, a deluxe sample, even though, I mean, are you ever going to use more than that? No. So it's a lot darker of a bronzer. It's, you know, it's nicely pigmented, but, I mean, it is kind of more of an orange bronzer. I think this is going to kill me. But I think I'm going to pass it on because, you know, I love that it smells like chocolate and everyone talks about it, which is why I'm wanting to keep it. But if I'm not ever using it, there's no point. It doesn't really work for my skin tone. The milk chocolate would be more suited to my skin tone. So I'm going to pass this on even though it breaks my heart. This is like a MAC powder blush, and the shade is called Taupe Shape. And I got this at a cosmetics company outlet at my outlet mall where they have MAC and Estee Lauder and other products for really cheap. And I just love it. It's the perfect, for me, again, another really great contour powder because it's more of a gray tone. Of course, now no swatches coming through. It is really... It's honestly, in the realm of MAC blushes, it's really not that pigmented. But honestly, with the brush, it does better. But I kind of like that it's not crazy pigmented because then I can't really screw up my contour. So I can never be too heavy-handed with it, which I really like. I've traveled with this one a lot because I know that the color is perfect in any light for my skin tone. So this is kind of my trusty one that I think it might have been limited edition, so I don't even know if you can get it or not, but I like it. Okay, this is the Laura Geller Balance in Bronze Foundation and Bronzer in Fair. You guys, I don't think I have ever used this. I think maybe once, maybe, but even then, I don't even know because I've got like the Balance and Brighten just this side in a full size of its own, and that one I use, but this I don't because the bronzer is like a reddish. Well, gosh, it's almost like, well, no, it does look a little more, I don't know. It's just not one that I reach for. I don't really know why I don't reach for it, I just don't. So even though, again, this was expensive, I think I'm going to pass it on because I just don't use it. And the last bronzery, contoury thing that I've got is this Aesthetica Cosmetics Contour Kit, which you guys know that I absolutely adore. I featured it in a review video recently, and if you can catch it on, it's on Groupon sometimes really cheap, and on Amazon it's not too expensive. It retails for like $60, but it's almost always on sale either on Groupon or Hotlook or somewhere for like $20. Around 20 or 25. So you can get great deals on this almost at any point in time, and it is exactly like the Anastasia Contour Kit. So if you've not been wanting to spend that much money, try this. It's amazing. Watch my review. You'll love it. And this shade right in between is the best dupe I've found for the Kevyn Aucoin one that I told you guys about. It is so, I mean, they're like dead on. Oh my gosh, I just love it. So I'm definitely keeping this little guy right here. I use it all the time. I'm so surprised by how much I use it. So for a tally, this is everything that I'm keeping, and that is what I'm getting rid of. I'm clearly keeping a lot more than I'm getting rid of, which I had kind of assumed that I would. For me, I feel as though everything that I'm keeping, like especially in my highlights, every single one kind of serves a different purpose for me. So I don't really feel guilty about keeping those. And then bronzer-wise, I love all these bronzers. And the only one that I'm not 100% totally in love with is my Hoola. But I like it enough that I do use it, especially in the summer. And so I'd rather use that up than get rid of that because I do like it. Whereas these bronzers, I'm just never reaching for. And it's hard because, again, Tarte is expensive. Too Faced is expensive. So is Laura Geller. OfferUp probably is, although I got it in a subscription box. They're all really good products, but I'm just not in love with them. So there's no point in having them waste space when someone else could love them. So I hope that you enjoyed this declutter video. Definitely check out my entire declutter playlist. I've got a ton of these videos where I've gone through my entire collection in each video. So definitely check that out. I can link it below. Otherwise, subscribe and stay tuned for my next one. Bye.